All right, everybody, good evening to you on this wonderful Wednesday night here. I'm Savannah Louie at the Atlanta News First Alert Desk. Here it is 8 o'clock on the dot here on April 12th. I'm so glad that you could join us today. We have your top 5 stories. The stories that we're focusing on are going to be mostly pretty local to the Atlanta metro area, but we do have one update that I'm going to give you later on about a pretty big national story that's gotten a lot of attention here. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Going to start here with a really disturbing story. This is out of Fulton County, and I need to give you a warning here. The images that we're going to show you here are extremely disturbing. An attorney has reached out to Atlanta News First, telling us about some extremely concerning conditions at the Fulton County Jail. This attorney tells us that a man was found dead in the jail, covered with insect and bug bites. And so what I'm going to do for you right now here is show you an image of that jail cell. This is again according to the attorney. You can see here it's covered in filth. In just a moment, I'm going to scroll down where you will actually see part of that man's body. Again, that attorney tells us the man who passed away in jail was 35-year-old LaShawn Thompson. He was found unresponsive in a Fulton County jail cell, covered in what his attorney calls are insect and bug bites. I'm going to scroll down here. And again, I want to remind you these images are pretty upsetting. You can see here a tweet from our reporter, Zach Summers. On the right-hand side, you see that same picture that we just saw of the jail cell, but also on the left-hand side, that man's body and the bug bites as well. Now, attorney Michael Harper says this inmate was placed in the psychiatric wing of the jail where he remained for 3 months. He was initially arrested for a misdemeanor battery in June 2022. He was found dead inside of his cell September 13th, 2022. The autopsy showed no signs of trauma, and while his death is still listed as undetermined, the medical examiner noted a severe bedbug infestation. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up now because I know that image of that man's body is pretty difficult to see here. So again, what you're looking at is an image of that cell. You can see the deplorable conditions. Now, Thompson's family is calling for accountability. They want the jail shut down and replaced, and a full criminal investigation into Thompson's death. We've reached out to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office for a comment. We're still waiting on a response, and we know that Thomas's family tomorrow at 2 o'clock is planning to hold a press conference at the Fulton County Superior Courthouse, Superior Courthouse, rather. Atlanta News First is planning on being there. We were notified about this story earlier today, and we are continuing to follow it very, very closely as we expect to hear from that family tomorrow. I know that's a really tough one to start with, so thanks for listening to that one with me here. If we're going to move on to another story out of Fulton County as well, but this geared more towards South Fulton in particular, and it comes after we've covered a number of stories regarding the closure of hospitals in Fulton County. Now we're learning that there are some life expectancy issues happening in Fulton County, particularly in South Fulton County. If you've been following with the news, you know that not one but 2 hospitals have closed this past year in the Atlanta metro area related to Wellstar. Now, new data just released finds life expectancy in South Fulton County has taken a hit in the absence of these critical health centers. Wellstar's recent decision to close those 2 facilities, one of them here in Old Fourth Ward, that's what you're looking at here, along with another in East Point, have been major issues. That's what some people are saying. Morehouse School of Medicine and the dean of that school presented a new 7-week study. It highlighted long-time inequities in access to health care. And the report comes again after the hospitals closed. Not only is there not a hospital south of I-20 in Atlanta, but also I want to break down some of the healthcare specialists. So real quick, if you have a heart disease in North Fulton, you have 71 options for a cardiologist, 214 in Central. But if you're in South Fulton, you have 0 options for a cardiologist. Now, if you have cancer, you have the option for 32 oncologists in North Fulton, 187 in Central, and just two in South Fulton. The disparity is hard to ignore. With this new data, county leaders say they can make more informed decisions to hopefully fix the problem and give people in the South more options to sustain and save lives. We've also heard from folks who ran that study that this data, while it is alarming, it is not unexpected. And if you look back at when we first reported that Wellstar was going to be closing just one of its hospitals, that first hospital in East Point, people were very concerned about their access to health care, and people brought up some of these issues. I remember interviewing people who expressed their concerns that their health was going to take a severe hit. And it's really interesting to see, not even a year later, we're getting proof of that. According to, again, this recent study, Morehouse speaking out on that tonight. All right, we're going to move right along here to another major story. This one, we are going to Dekalb County for this, and we're listening to, right now, a town hall meeting for the Dekalb County Superintendent. If you've been following along with this story, this is another story that we have been following for quite some time now. Not just this year, but it seems like the superintendent, the leaders in Dekalb County have had a pretty high turnover rate. But now there is a new sole finalist who could be taking the superintendent job. And Dekalb County, they want to hear from you. They want to hear from parents, teachers. They want to hear from everybody at these town hall meetings here. So tonight is the first in a series of town hall meetings where the community can come and meet this man, Dr. Devon Horton. The district named him as the sole superintendent finalist earlier this month. He's currently the superintendent of the Evanston-Skokie School District. That's in Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. Dr. Horton also previously served as chief of schools in Louisville, Kentucky, and was an employee of the Chicago Public Schools. Now, one issue people are raising here: Interim Superintendent Dr. Vasan Tinsley has held this position since last April, when the board abruptly fired the previous superintendent. Some folks feel that that interim superintendent should hang on to the job. It's a pretty interesting story here. Now, if you can't make it to tonight's meeting, there are going to be two more this week, one tomorrow night at McNair Middle School, and Friday night as well at the Dekalb Administrative and Industrial Complex. Each meeting starts at 6 p.m. It'll last about 2 hours, so that meeting just about ready to wrap up here. Georgia law requires school districts to provide a minimum of 2 weeks for public input before they actually finalize a contract with the new superintendent, and the school is set to make their final vote next week. So this is a huge story. It's going to impact thousands of kids and families in Dekalb County, in the metro Atlanta area. So we have our reporter, Chelsea Bimfor. She's covering this story very closely for us tonight. She's at that town hall right now, listening to all of that public comment, digging through all of it just for us. She's going to be bringing us a live report this evening at 9 and 10 on Peachtree TV, as well as 11 o'clock on WANF. So that'll be something to look forward to. I always feel like these stories involving and impacting kids are just so interesting. Maybe it's just because I love kids. I might be biased on that one. But it'll be interesting to hear Chelsea's notes and what she's really picked up on from listening to all those families talk today. All right, I teased earlier today we were going to be talking about a national story, big national story here. Well, let's get to it right now. We're taking you to Tennessee for this story, as a lawmaker is reinstated. Commissioners in Memphis, Tennessee just reinstated Justin Pearson. You see him right here on your screen. He's one of two black Democrats who were kicked out of the Republican-led Tennessee House. It comes days after commissioners in Nashville reinstated Representative Justin Jones. Pearson and Jones were both ousted after they staged a demonstration calling for gun reform after that tragic Nashville school shooting. We all unfortunately remember that. Now, a third Democrat, you see her right here, the blonde woman, and you see her again right here on the left, Gloria Johnson. She also demonstrated with Pearson and Jones, but she survived the vote. She was never ousted. That's the latest, though. So I would say exciting news for that lawmaker from Memphis, Tennessee here, as he is able to get his seat back. And for our final story of the evening, we're leaving you with a good one. We'll pull up some video here. Because I know you would rather look at a stingray than me, right? The Atlanta Aquarium hosted a pretty big and special celebration for Mother's Day. If you haven't found your Mother's Day plans yet, you might want to check this one out. It's bringing all types of mothers together from all different types of species. The Georgia Aquarium hosting a very unique way to celebrate their caretakers this Mother's Day with a Mother's Day brunch. You can enjoy views of one of the largest aquatic exhibits in the world. Now, a ticket to the brunch also gets you admission to the aquarium after. It does come at a cost, though. Non-member tickets going to cost you about $125. Now, if you really love your mom or motherly figure, or just maybe a friend you want to go with, and you want to save up for it, well, you still have another month before the big day. Mother's Day falls on May 14th this year. Even if you don't plan on going to that event, May 14th, put that on your calendar. Your mom's going to be expecting a call, or maybe you are mom, you are expecting a call, tell your kids. Either way, always a very special day to honor the women, motherly figures, mentors, matriarchs in our life. I know we all have them, right? All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Again, Savannah Louie here with Atlanta News First. Going to send you out with a beautiful look at our skyline. Always a pleasure to be hanging out with you guys on an evening night just like this one where it's so nice outside. Let's bring in our meteorologist, Patrick Pete, with a forecast. And Patrick, you have a couple of first alerts coming up, right?
Absolutely. The first of which is going to come into view as we head into tomorrow. Something that we are tracking is that level 1 out of 5 risk for isolated thunderstorms through parts of your day. So reasons to be weather dialed in. If you do not already have that First Alert weather app, now would be the time to download it, because if you are in an area that gets warned for a severe thunderstorm, or unfortunately the tornado potential exists as well, if you do get warned for either of those, you will get an alert to your phone, not to mention an hour-by-hour breakdown of the forecast in your zip code. So let's get you through the forecast for the next 24 hours, where we are tracking not one but two first alerts. Tomorrow, looking at that level 1 out of 5 risk for strong storms in the areas that was highlighted. Damaging wind and lightning are going to be our primary concerns, but the atmosphere will be rotating a little bit. We've already seen some hints of that. Guidance is telling us that there will be the potential for thunderstorms to rotate. And any time that there are rotating thunderstorms, there's at least a low end potential for an isolated tornado. So we do need to be on guard for those severe weather modes as we head through the day tomorrow. Here's how we get through Thursday. Expecting clouds to build in from the south. Now, some models have been trying to bring this rain into the Atlanta at around 8 o'clock. I think it's going to be a little bit later than that. But we're going to first alert in the morning for folks that are in places like LaGrange, Macon, Griffin, because we expect to see some of those earlier showers there just around the time that the morning commute is going to end. So we'll be watching for those early arrivals. But as we head towards around lunchtime, we're going to see some of these bands move in. Now, it's important to note with the forecast for tomorrow, we're not expecting this to be a continuous rain event, much like what we saw Saturday, where it was raining for a long time this past weekend. But what we're expecting here is for this rain to come in waves. And when it's not raining on tomorrow, we're expecting it to be cloudy. So we're just going to go ahead and first alert the whole day, because it's going to be a bit of a nuisance to be out and about and gloomy as well. Not to mention, because of the clouds and the rain, temperatures are going to struggle to get into the upper 60s across a large chunk of the region. So it will be noticeably cooler, but still pretty nice as far as the temps are concerned. Not cold like Saturday, but you know what I mean. 60s, whereas we were in the upper 70s today. It'll be about a 10-degree drop or so. Meanwhile, those showers are going to linger because this low pressure system is going to be rotating around, and that means it's going to be bringing that rain chance in and out of the forecast, not only tomorrow, but as we head into Friday. Important to note, the rain chance for Friday is not as widespread as what we're tracking for tomorrow. So we expect more of you to pick up on the rain and the thunderstorms tomorrow, and less folks to be impacted by Friday. But because there is rain around and it's the end of the week and payday, and people tend to drive a little bit crazier leaving work, and everybody gets on the roads at the same time, it's going to be a bit of a mess. And because there's going to be rain out there, we're first alerting you just so that you know to be prepared for all of the things that come along with rain chances on a Friday. Meanwhile, this system is lifting north and east as we head into your Friday evening. So that means those rain chances are going to be decreasing just in time for all of you who are looking for a night on the town. I expect it to be drying out Meanwhile, temperatures are going to get back into the 70s as we head into your Friday. We're expecting that rain chance to decrease as we head past about 5 o'clock. We'll see things dry out. So a little bit closer to seasonal by Friday. As far as rain totals are concerned, we're talking about widespread totals of about a half inch to an inch. Could see some isolated pockets pick up a little bit more than that, depending on where we see training of those storms and showers set up. Meanwhile, taking a look at the weekend, we're all trying to make plans to get out and about, and Saturday is the hands down weekend winner. We're talking about a good mix of sun and clouds and temperatures that are going to be climbing back into the upper 70s. Meanwhile, Sunday, we're watching a cold front that's going to be moving into the region. And that cold front, while it doesn't have a whole lot of moisture associated with it, there's enough rain around for us to pick up on some of those showers in the afternoon. So we'll be watching for that. Temperatures are going to trend a little bit cooler Sunday, but the bigger impacts from the cold front for sure are in the cards for us as we head into Monday, Tuesday. So here's that 7-day forecast. Just looking in Facebook to see, reading some comments, seeing, what's on y'all's minds. Hey to you at home on Roku and Amazon Prime as well. YouTube, I see some of you guys are on there as well. I think there's about 25 of you viewing right at this moment. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Drop me a word so that I know that you're watching and listening. Here's that 7-day forecast where, of course, the weekend is in view, and we are watching 2 first alerts as we march towards the weekend. Rain and thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe on Thursday, some lingering showers Friday, and then we dry out nicely for Saturday. Another cold front slides through the region Sunday. That's going to bring us a chance for some showers. We drop into the upper 60s by Monday, but then temperatures warm back into the mid to upper 70s as we head towards Tuesday and Wednesday. Looking ahead to Tuesday and Wednesday, by the way, they look pretty fantastic. So I think I'm off next Thursday. I'm off next Thursday, so let's extend that out. Coming up tonight, I'll have you a little bit of a tease on what you can expect for Thursday. But we are heading towards the middle of next week with lots of sunshine. So now that I have no questions on Facebook, I am going to leave you all with the 7-day forecast. And you guys can check us out at 9, 10, and 11 for any updates that we're going to have for you. Y'all have a fantastic Wednesday evening.